Klein Gamers.
What's up, guys? This is your boy RG Madao, and I got another angry battle today. That's right, against a random known as Zephyr. He says he has a YouTube channel, but I don't know which Zephyr he is, since it is a pretty common name, and he didn't specify which one he is, so I can't really leave a link there. But why don't we get started with the vid? He's going to lead off with Charizard, and looking at his team, he has major threats. He has pretty much nothing but the OU of NU all in his team. So I'm going to lead off with Golurk for no reason really. I just let off of it because it was in my lead spot by chance. So I'm going to switch out into Tentacool this turn, knowing that I can take anything this Charizard wants to do. And at this point, since he did switch, I'm figuring that this Charizard is Choice Scarf like most are. So I'm going to go for that knockoff on the switch. However, he ends up going into his, looking at how much damage this did, special defensive Manectric, who takes the knockoff very well, because one, it's weak, it's unstab, and it's coming from a Tentacool, and he had an air balloon, so it's pretty much a useless knockoff, and it takes the Giga Drain. Now that I see its roar, it definitely tells me that it's more defensive, so I take a risk here, going for the Volt Switch in case he doesn't have a Lightning Rod, and it pays off for me because I didn't know what he wanted to go for, since I don't run into Manectric all that much. Now I'll go on to Liper now, knowing that he just Thunder Wave, and I can encore him with the Thunder Wave. Now that he's stuck into Thunder Wave, and since my Liper does have the Limber ability, it's going to force the switch. However, I should have predicted the switch into Cincino here and gone straight for a foul play, or a swagger, most likely foul play. But instead I go for the substitute. Now, I'm scared here because I know he can just go for a Tail Slap, or a Bullet Seed, or a Rock Blast to take out my sub and then kill off my Liper. So I'm going to switch out into my Credilli, and he predicts this very nicely and goes for the U-turn instead. So, well played on that turn. However, since my Credilli is the physically defensive Credilli, you will see that it takes that hit nice. It is a beautiful, beautiful physical wall in Credilli. Now he's going to send out Sock, and the close combat is completely obvious. However, the payback is also obvious. So I had to choose which would he go for, payback or close combat. He ends up going for payback, and unfortunately for me, it will do a hefty amount of damage to my Golurk. Now it does a little bit more than half, and I'm thinking, alright, you know what? The switch into Credilli is painfully obvious, and the payback won't do anything, so I'll just stay in, thinking that he's going to switch, but I overpredict, and I end up going for the Rock Polish, which is, allows me to get the hit off, but really means that my Golurk is basically dead. So I'm going to Earthquake this Sock as it is, and bring it down to 30. Now the reason why I stayed in and took that chance is because, I really needed that Charizard dead, and I figured after a Rock Polish I might be able to outspeed with Golurk and hit it with the Stone Edge. However, he doesn't switch out to Charizard, and I lose my Golurk, which really sucks because my Golurk was, to be honest, my main way to deal with that Charizard. Now he sends out Charizard now, which sucks. However, I'm going to take this time to set up Stealth Rock. I set up Stealth Rocks for two reasons. One, this Charizard is going to take a heavy hit coming in, and also that Sock is dead. This minute that Sock goes in, it is gone. So that's always good. Now I'm going to switch out this turn, go into my Tentacool. Now since he has Muck, setting up Toxic Spikes is pretty much pointless, and he goes for the Focus Blast, and since obviously it's a Tentacool and it's resisted, that does absolutely nothing. Now once again he switches out, so I'm really thinking his Choice Scarf, so I could play around that, but he ends up sending out Cincino, which can hit me pretty hard with the Tail Slap. So I switch out into my Credilli to take any hit he wants to really give me. Now looking at my Credilli's health, I know I can take another U-turn, and I know I can take the Tail Slap because it is resisted. So he's forced to go for a U-turn again. It doesn't even bring me down to below half. I'm still in green, which is very, very nice. But, this is dangerous territory because he does have the Charizard. However, the Charizard does take a hefty toll of damage on it after Stealth Rocks. Now, I go for the Earth Power this turn, just in case he wanted to stay in. I really need the damage on that Cincino. That way my Liper can get behind the sub, and I would have another way to deal with the Charizard. Now, I predict him to go for the Air Slash here, and then I know I will be able to survive it because Credilli is nice nice special defensive bulk naturally. So I figured I could take it, which I was right about, and I recover up, which is very nice because now I know for a fact I can take a fire blast or whatever if I need to. Now the switch into the tentacle is completely obvious, so I decided to stay in again, just in case he wanted to go into Magnetric, who can obviously hit tentacle for some super effective damage or roar it out. Now, obviously that backfires because not only is he able to hit a fire blast on my Credilli, and I lose all that health I just recovered, but I get burned, which really sucks because it weakens the survivability of my physical wall. Now, I'm obviously forced to switch out into Tentacle. Now I have to. There's no way I can stay, and once again he's just going to go for an air slash, which he does now, and my Tentacle, being a Tentacle, takes that very well. Now this is when I wish I had Scald. I'm pretty sure I tried changing it to Scald before, but it didn't register, it didn't go through. So I ended up, like, I thought I had Scald before I battled in this game. I could have sworn I did, but I didn't. I ended up having UV Drain, which really sucked. But anyway, I take this time to really just knock off the Charizard's leftovers because it's gaining health, and I don't need it gaining health since really the only way I can kill this at this moment is to hit it with the Stealth Rocks. So my Tentacle, I'm really forced to have my Tentacle foddered out, and I'm forced to go into my Electros, who I know could take a hit and kill it off of a Volt Switch. Luckily for me, he misses the Focus Blast, and I'm able to switch out. Now here I wish I had my Swell, because I made a new Fearow set and I really wanted to test it out, so I asked the guy before the battle if I could bring it out, except for the Swallow, since we battled a game before this and I pretty much raped him, and I just wanted to know if he didn't want me to bring the same exact team. Now he's gonna go for the Brick Break to break the sub. I was hoping he would go for a Curse, try to set up, but he doesn't. He goes for the safe Brick Break, and I know the Brick Break will be able to take me out, especially at this range of health, since Liepard has poor defenses and is super effective. Now I'm really forced to go for something, and I have nothing else to take the hit from the Grimer. I don't want to risk it cursing up and then being allowed to Shadow Sneak me, so I go straight for a Swagger, hoping it will hit itself, and luckily for me, it does hit himself. But now that I think about it, I really should have switched out into Fearow, but then again, Fearow, even after a drill run, wouldn't be able to take out the Muck, so either way, it worked out in my favor. Now I'm going to go for a foul play this turn, just because I need to kill off this Muck. I don't want it setting up. And unfortunately for me, he lives with a small amount of HP, but fortunately for me, he does hit himself again on the Confusion Hacks, and his Muck gets taken out. Now, I'm in a very bad situation because he does have that Cincino, and I don't have a sub up, so he's free to go for a Tail Slap, no problem. He's free to go to a U-turn, no problem. Either way, something's going to get hit. So I send out my Credilli, hoping that he would kill me off with a U-turn. However, instead he ends up going for a Tail Slap. You know, it doesn't really matter as much, but I was hoping for the U-turn. That way I could get Switch Initiative and he would be forced to send out something. But because he goes for the Tail Slap, he is still able to kill off my Credilli thanks to the burn. And, you know, I can get a nice switch onto the Cincino. But the problem is that Cincino, being a Cincino, outspeeds pretty much everything that's left on my team, so I'm forced to send out Electros to take a hit and then kill it off with a T-Bolt. Luckily for me, the max HP Electros has allows it to live a Tail Slap, a scaling Tail Slap from the Cincino, even after one of them being a crit, so that's very nice, and I'm able to knock it out of the game with the T-Bolt. So right now, you know, it's good, but I'm not sitting pretty because in Exploso, and all I have is a Liepard that's not at full health, a low health Electros, and a Fearow. Now this is a custom Fearow, so it's not choice scarfed, which means I can't send out my Liepard to get one more recoil damage, and then send out Liepard to revenge. I mean, not Liepard, send out Fearow to revenge kill. So that's a good game as it is because I have to send out Fearow since my Liepard happens to be faster, and my only way of winning this is hoping that he's not Jolly. But, of course, he is Jolly, so that's good game, Zephyr. Now, you know, I got a lot of battles with this new team, so I'm hoping to make a new team soon. I'm RG Madao, and I'll see y'all later.